who will pay for it? There's potentially a large number of consumers or businesses buying it. Are there 25 other? I mean, I can give you one more example. There are about now 6 or 7 ride-hailing apps which are going to come in. I think everybody is saying ONDC is there. So with ONDC now I can get on, and everybody says, I'm trying to solve problems. Consumers are disappointed with surge pricing. Consumers are disappointed with cancellations. Drivers are unhappy because the ride-hailing companies are making disproportionate money. They don't get paid on time. I want to solve that problem. Good luck to you. Okay. And then they say, so the people come up with this model where the driver pays say 25-30 rupees one time for a day. This challenge, you start looking at the math, the economics. So how do you run a large operation? How many people you require? It just doesn't stack up. So they don't think enough, or someone is not there to ask them questions. Why are you doing this? And simple question about why will you win?
So this is going to be probably my last question. So Praveen, we all talk about this thing, like in a larger company or even in a startup, product is just 10-15% of the company, and you work only with technology. Like you are the CEO of the largest technology innovation hub in the country, and probably the best one in the Asia for autonomous navigation. Right? So what do you think? What technology innovation hubs like yours shall do to actually make this technology to see the day of the light of the day?
Yeah, yes.
Right. That's a bigger. So we always talk about translational research and like all that we talk about, but with TIH being established, how many TIH? I think 12-15 are there in the country, right? Or more than that.
I'm not
Exact number nobody knows, but there are more than 10-15 TIH established across the country, each one having a budget of almost
25 THs.
25
THs with a project funding of 3,200
crores have been just kept in to build this infrastructure and technology. But what has been done to make it or support translational technology? Because I see the last translational bigger technology we have seen was India Stack. Something like Aadhaar, FASTag, these are the translational technologies which actually changed the whole paradigm. So what do you think, what these TAs should do and how people can actually look at these technologies and build better products out of it?
Yeah, yes. So when it comes to the THAN, we are working on the autonomous navigation for both autonomous cars, autonomous drones, air taxis, even for surface and underwater vehicles also we are working with the different armed forces. So what we are doing is we are developing the technology, we are reaching up to technology TRL level 8 and all. We are developing at our controlled environments. When you want to deploy the same autonomous vehicles on the Indian road conditions, we don't have any policies. We don't have any government policies to implement this autonomous vehicle driving in Indian conditions.
So, by the way, I have ridden in an autonomous vehicle which he built. So,
yeah, that's what
I have ridden, I think, multiple times. Yeah, in our campus. Yeah, so from the main gate to my office, I go in his vehicle,
yes,
which is autonomous.
We have developed in Naval Dockyard, Visakhapatnam, even Labas now, Missouri. For IAS training officers, we have given a technology demonstration to them also, to the new batch, phase 1 and phase 2 batches. But what we want to really deploy in Indian condition is the policy making. The policies is not there. If autonomous vehicle launched in Indian road condition, then entire your Indian Motor Vehicle Act should change. Your IT Information Act should change, because autonomous vehicle can be hacked by anyone. So your cyber security policies should come. So all these policy makers should address this question. So that's what this Bharat NCAP is coming. Bharat New Car Assessment Program. Generally, it's there in US and Europe. Euro NCAP. That's what the new car ratings are described. They do a number of testings and then they give car rating. But this system is not there in our Indian ecosystem. And even our Gadkari ji said, directly if I deploy autonomous vehicles, it creates a job creation problem. So yeah, so THS like us, it is again one more hurdle for us, so that the research should not go to into the another level.
Okay.
Yeah, now Tesla is bringing its own car plant in India. So if he gives a autonomous vehicle for at least 25 lakhs here. But where is the rules? Who owns the driver license? Whether it car owns or car owner owns that license? And what is the traffic police?
Yes.
Who will find? Who
will be fined?
Yeah. All this will be the policy making addressing.
Okay. And what in every panel discussion at the end I do is I ask panelists to ask questions to each other. And I'll tell you the reason. When जब बड़े लोग आपस में कॉल करते तो आपस में क्या बात करते हैं हमें नहीं पता हम छोटे लोग हैं when Kiran sir will call MSR what Kiran and MSR will talk how will we get to know so that is now the idea yes so now like Kiran will ask a question to MSR will ask a question to Praveen will ask a question to
Okay, Praveen, in terms of so maybe two questions. First is maybe a small education to the audience on what are the different levels of ADAS education. You should also go back with some gyan. One. Second is where what you are doing in Ihan. How far are you away, at least from getting to let's say TRL 5 or 6?
The first question I will address on the ADAS level systems. Right now, whatever we are seeing, the vehicle safety systems like XUV 700 Mahindra or Audi or Volvo, safety features are there. So the ADAS is nothing but advanced driver assistance system. That's not fully autonomous vehicle. It is only aiding the driver to enhance its safety measures. So there is a difference between autonomous vehicle and a ADAS vehicle. So autonomy starts with 0, as per the Society of Automobile Engineers. So level 0 is nothing but where driver takes off all your brake, steering, gear, everything control. So that's why they call it as a level 0. Okay, and up to level 5 is again a completely autonomous vehicle. You can sit at the back side and there is no driver in the front seat. You can read a newspaper and you just say a location through voice command. It goes from from Gachibowli to Vora, then it moves on. Okay, only you have to leisurely sit and you can work on. That is called a completely autonomous vehicle with connected features. Okay, and between level 1 where the automatic steering system, there the safety will incorporate into the vehicle. If a vehicle deviates your lane markings like dash lanes or continuous lane on the road, when your vehicle is deviating its lane, then it immediately alerts your driver that that vehicle is deviating a lane. So driver takes a corrective measure there. He again comes in, he holds the steering and brings the vehicle into the correct path. So in that way, the level 1 to level 3 driver will be there. So in all steering, brake, all this will be done in the level 3 completely like what is it, external actuators. You don't require your leg to operate brake or steering or your hands or gear. It will be completely programmed inside your automobile. All there are ECUs. Electronic engine control units or electronic control units we call. Your brake will have a separate ECU, your airbag will have a separate, and your air conditioning will have a separate ECUs. All these ECUs will be modified and programmed as per this ADAS levels. So in that way, level 1, level 2 to level 3 and 4 are the ADAS level features. So it does the automatic emergency braking, whether it is a pedestrian, human being, or cattle on the road, or a speed bump, or a pothole, the vehicle will automatically detect and stops. Even it is a traffic sign of Indian or the traffic lights. So these are the ADAS level features coming into the vehicles. Already some XUV 700 autonomous emergency brake is completely enabled, and Tesla stands there, so a complete autonomous vehicle there. And we are also working in the Tihan IIT Hyderabad. The same thing, we have launched in our campus controlled environment. Ours is a 600 acres campus, and we are running these autonomous vehicles from last August 2023. So last 8 months we have not faced any incident happened with that. Okay, so that our algorithms are trying to Indian traffic dataset and dynamic dataset. Sometimes when the visitors or VIPs comes, even at the ministry level to the Tihan or IIT, they simply jump in front of the vehicle just to check that whether the vehicle is stopping or not. So we have such a fail-safe redundant system that vehicle will stop with respect to dynamic conditions, whether it is a buffalo or any cattle or a big truck or something. Yeah. So that's why our TOT process as a second question is there. We have developed this transfer of technologies to the many OEMs. Like LTTS is taking our technology and deploying it. Tata Technologies are deploying it. And also some of the Bangalore-based company, we have seen mini vehicles. In most of the airports, is to commute the passengers in the like a shuttle kind of vehicles. So they want to take some of our Tihan technologies to the real field deployments. That's right. Not only this one, and we are also into the urban air mobility, like air taxi solutions also. So we have done some proof of concepts levels also. It is in the level of TRL level 6, and we are going to scale up also. We have done some NSF proposals also, sir, to National Science Foundation and USISTF, Endowment Fund also, both Indian and US. So US government is funding some up to some level, and we are developing that complete solution. Right now, even Indigo is planning an air taxi from Delhi to Gurgaon. Actual journey is 1 hour, but through this air taxis, it is only 7 minutes with a charge of 2,000 to 3,000 rupees. So this is a minimum level of helicopter. This multi-rotor air taxis are not IC engine based helicopters. These are electric motor. Yes, where our startup, our IT also works a lot on this kind of platform developments along with Index also. So the congestion between the urban traffic cities will be reduced drastically both in air and ground vehicles also. It's completely autonomous. So,
Kiran, your question to us.
Yeah, but do you think innovation and entrepreneurship in Telangana can be decentralized and democratized to some extent? And is there anything that we can do as an academic incubator to partner or collaborate or help decentralize research?
We have 33 districts in Telangana. So today one issue which we have to definitely tackle is a lot of whatever is happening in Hyderabad. IIT, IIT, IKP and so on. So I think if you ask me long term, see what is the difference between somebody in Hyderabad, Kalinagar, Nagar or us? Just access. That's it. There's nothing else. They are as smart, not smarter. They may be more in touch with the ground reality of problems. What we have to figure out and obviously crack the code is how do you provide them access? How does an entrepreneur? So I'll give you one example. We have one amazing young entrepreneur who's 22 years old. His name is Ravi Kiran. So he runs an interesting company called Alien Innovations. So this fellow has been studied in a Navodaya school in Hyderabad, then went to some college, and he's now doing a lot of work in assistive tech. So one thing which he's built, this is for people with visual impairment. So you use a stick. So what he's done is he's built a device which is about half this size. Like a small button in front. So anyone instead of carrying a walking stick, you can actually carry this in your hand. And obviously collision detection, collision avoidance. It's in this thing is done. Now this fellow was discovered accidentally. He was discovered, others also get discovered. So somewhere what happens is, some of them will fall through the cracks. So if you can figure a way out to minimize the falling through the cracks. See, a lot of young people have ideas. And they need some support, some guidance. So I think long term, hopefully we'll see much more of this happening. And I know, for example, they have now come up with every year they do annually a startup ranking. This year they have changed some of the parameters. Actually, it's quite nicely done. And a lot of things they are now looking at is how are you making sure across a state. So, for example, see what's happened today. There's some other data point. 13 districts in India contribute 50% of our GDP. 13 districts. We have 730 districts. Okay. So obviously we know the districts. Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Coimbatore, Pune, Bombay. Right. So now for India to progress, it has to be beyond those 30. So policymakers are aware. Like everything in India, things take time. Be optimistic, it will happen.
It's actually a general question. Why the West Coast startup ecosystem is very strong compared to East Coast, southern part of India? Like Gujarat
I
and
didn't realize that
Mumbai.
happened. Now I'm realizing that is there.
Yeah, why Gujarat, Mumbai?
I'm not sure why, but I think East Coast is more into, has been more, I mean, if I look at the states now and think now, which means the answer could be entirely wrong. But I think we were focused more on education, intellectuals being that, I mean, being academic and such, where the West Coast has been looking into business. I believe it has got some historical background also, where most of the trade was happening with the Middle East and Europe way back, also going back even before British era. And towards the east, we only had invasions towards the Southeast Asia. So that's probably why there were more businessmen on the west than on the east. And of course, there is also the Parsi population that came into India and settled in the west coast. That's probably the reason, in my opinion, if I think right now, at the top of my head.
And again, even in Telangana is getting prominent more, but not why not Kerala and Tamil Nadu and other parts?
So I think.
Because we have MSR only in
Okay.
Hyderabad.
No, I think all see again. So if you ask me, there's one state we can take as a role model for industrial development, all around uniform industrial development. That I should say this carefully, but it is Tamil Nadu. I'll tell you why. It is why because Tamil Nadu has Chennai, has Coimbatore, has Trichy, has Salem, has Tirupur, Madurai. So lots of hubs, textiles, automobiles, pumps, lots of things have happened. Much more uniform than any other state, not just in South India, across India.
Thank you, sir.
I'll stop before I say anything else which is controversial.
Okay, so with this we end the discussion. You have been a very lovely audience. Thanks a lot for all your time on a Sunday evening. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
Session which we are having now is technology and innovation advancements across sectors. And this is going to be moderated by Mr. J. Chowdhury, founder ISF. And I request him to please come on stage.
And I see a lot of future, as B.V. Naidu was also mentioning. Next wave is going to be startup wave, and women entrepreneurs are going to lead. And I see a lot of women entrepreneurs are budding entrepreneurs who are going to be new entrepreneurs. I think future is all yours, and definitely ISF is there to support all of you. So with this one-line intro, I want my panelists to give their thoughts. How, as a responsible citizen of this great nation, how we can support this initiative. See why we are supporting the entrepreneurs. Today morning I told you that there is a news item in yesterday's newspaper. 60,000 people have been removed from the jobs from 3 companies, and 10 lakh people are going to be eliminated because of the automation. See, as long as job engine is moving fast in India with 1.5 billion population, all these 30-35 years, thanks to IT services industry, whether it's a diploma holder, 3rd class, 2nd class, they all got jobs. Most of them went to US. They're all now working in Wall Street and various other places. All that good run, gold run was all over. Now the complexities are coming. This many engineering colleges, this many private universities, they're all producing thousands and thousands of graduates, undergraduates every year. And existing people, as per the yesterday's report, they themselves are going to lose jobs. That number, 10 lakhs in 2 years, is not a small number. Then how India can bear, because unemployment rate with 1.5 billion population, more unemployed there on the roads, and every day you see Rasta Roko, Rail Roko, even existing GCC companies also. Why all this headache? For any IT company, it takes 1 week for them to relocate from one place to other place. See, most of the GCCs, they are on lease accommodation. Just another place, they will take a building with internet facilities and move the people or employ the people. So what will happen? As it is, in fact, people say that in Hyderabad, a lot of commercial buildings are empty. With this news of yesterday's news, if more people are going to be removed, at the same time, freelancing is now order of the day. As per the World Economic Report, now particularly after the COVID, everybody feels, happy to working from the home. So there is a depth of distance. Whether you are in Timbuktu or Hyderabad or Silicon Valley, doesn't matter. If you have internet access, you can do your job. If freelancing is on the rise, why people have to come and work in a building in Hyderabad or Bangalore for that matter? So that situation, that means you have to compete with world freelancers, not just Hyderabad freelancers or Bangalore freelancers. You have to fight with Czechoslovakia, Poland, Vietnam, all those countries. So unfortunately, in all these years, we have removed most of the engineering colleges. No civil engineering, no mechanical engineering, no metallurgy engineering, no aviation. Only ITES, and some IT related. Now IT is a tool. All the chat GPT, generative, this thing, they can create all that software and all that. So where the jobs are going to come, that's where now we have to debate, and why startups are important at this point of time, because startups are going to work not in today's technology. They are going to work on tomorrow's technology, and they are going to solve the real problem. While solving the real problem, if somebody is there to handhold, give the funding, and also provide the market access, they will create jobs. They will create wealth for this nation. While other jobs are getting eliminated as per the World Economic Forum report, we have to create new jobs within the country. In fact, morning also I was telling, the rural India, there are so many problems yet to be addressed. All those problems are opportunities for startups. So that's where the opportunities today. Now I want my esteemed panelists to talk about in their own area, whether they are in the fintech area or agri-tech area, where are the opportunities for the startups, and how your organization or in individual capacity, how you are going to help the ecosystem to become more robust, because all of us have to work. This is not the problem of only myself or somebody else and all. This is the problem for entire India, all the responsible citizens of this great nation. We have to see that how we can solve this problem in a meaningful way, and we don't have much time. Tsunami is coming. If you wait, tsunami will just take all the people away. Afterwards, if you want to do any tinkering to rectify, I don't think we can do that. So still there's a time. So how is that, as a responsible citizen, how do we react to this current issues, global issues, which are going to be in India, and how we are going to make India as #1 startup nation, creating the new jobs, creating the new wealth. With this, I'll request my panelists, Lakshmi, you can start.
I'm sitting here in the capacity of, I'm the head of engineering for Lloyds Bank. Lloyds is a very large UK bank, for those of you who are not aware of it. And they started up, right? Like you were saying as an example, they started up a large setup here in India, which clearly the tagline that we use is, we are late to the party, but not to the dance floor. So we want to be there and like really make it big. Like all the other fintechs, like the JP Morgans and the Wells Fargos of the world, we want to do that. To your point, sir, how can we do this? I can tell you one thing, we are massively hiring, right? Very, very big hiring spree. Do I get a lot of resumes? Yes, I do get a lot of resumes. Do I get like the quality I expect? Unfortunately, the answer is still no, right? And that is where I really look forward for this group of people to come up with innovative ideas, to have that level of in-depth knowledge. India, especially shockingly, has such a great knowledge in terms of fintech, product development, ideas, but end of the day, when I'm looking at a resume, when I need to hire people, I don't have the required skill set. I don't know what really happens. Probably it is they're getting lost in the system. I do not know that. That's one thing. Even the freshers, I think education system wise, I think that's a huge impact we can make. If we are able to mentor them there, they come with very theoretic knowledge, and a lot of times not even that. It gets very difficult for them to understand what is the complexity I'm talking about when I'm saying a product issue, for them to visualize it, right? I think this kind of goes back grassroots, not just engineering. I think it goes back to schooling and all of that. I think we need to place more emphasis on real time issues and more practical issues versus theoretic exam writing. I think we need to really get away from that aspect, is my personal opinion, right? That is something we've observed a lot.
I agree with you, Rashmi. We need disruptive reforms in the primary education, secondary education, also higher education. What NEP has done, they did some tinkering, but that tinkering is not going to help in this era of AI. The other important thing, Rashmi, I want to ask you. See, most of the startups, they are looking for business with GCC companies like yours, and you are working on cutting edge solutions. And since you are the engineering head for the Lloyds Bank, how a startup can approach you? What is the mechanism, and how ISF can interface that so that it's a win-win thing? They are going to solve your problem in a cost-effective way, and also there's an opportunity for the startup to get a business from you. How the interface can happen?
So the interface can happen with people like myself, definitely, right? We can create a forum. That is something that we are looking forward for. I'll give you an example. In fact, next week I'm hosting my business lead for enterprise like crime prevention. This person is responsible for entire bank's crime prevention system, right? In fact, we were looking forward to meeting some enterprise or local organizations, startup organizations who work in the risk areas. So, because Lloyd's tends to be a lot more inward-looking company in the sense that we already the threat is made, we are looking how to work on it, right? We are looking for outward-driven companies where they are trying to look at threat perception and trying to predict it ahead of time. I think we do that, but not as significantly. My point is, we have it in all the areas. It can start with people like me, and we can take it forward. And we always are looking forward to meeting more entrepreneurs in these, not necessarily this area, but a lot of, especially in the fintech.
Yeah, what I suggest, Rashmi, since many people are not aware of even Lloyds Bank, the Lloyds Bank is new to, so we can have one ISF event around Lloyds Bank. There probably you can give a presentation. What Lloyds Bank, what technologies you're working, what are the opportunity startups? We'll invite all our ISF startups who are into fintech, all of this thing. Maybe that interactive session we can have.
I was just asking.
I'm new to this arena. For me, biomedical engineering is like now I see a lot of engineers are there, but I don't find real engineers. They are certificate holders, but there is no skills. Because everyone thinks that if I'm spending this much after completion of my engineering, how much I'm going to get. But he is not seeing what he is going to earn the knowledge. So real engineering skills are dying nowadays.
I totally agree with you. Already I mentioned, because most of the engineering colleges, except IT, they don't know anything, no domain knowledge. In fact, World Economic Forum report also says cross-domain skills is a must for any fellow to get a job in this current situation.
Sir, I'm one of the faculty member for AMTJ across 17 biomedical engineering. I'm one of the faculty member. I used to go and give a guest lecture. So private engineering also, they stop the biomedical engineering.
They are stopping all others other than IT. You know?
Unfortunately.
Anyway.
Unfortunately, my domain area is hampered first. Because.
But I'll tell you, Arvind Rao,
Yeah.
your domain area, there are a lot of opportunities for startups.
The point is that, sir, because startup is there, but.
No, we will work offline.
Yeah.
There are a lot of opportunities in biomedical engineering for startups.
I'm a biomedical graduate myself, PhD in it, but I've chosen a different background, but I'm still using all the techniques that are into the biomedical engineering.
Thank you. Vishala, so I've been watching you as an entrepreneur for a very, very long time. Wherever you go, you really succeed in a very big way. Now I was told you are millet queen of India. So tell me, what are the opportunities in the millet and how you can create more jobs and more startups can be supported by your organization. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. And that's a very big term. I don't accept it because the real millet queens are in the rural India. And the millet, as it is very small grain, as you know, and even the farmers who are growing millets are small and marginal farmers who have 1 to 3 acres land. And when they are not farming, they're actually agri labor. So by bringing this millet to the mainstream, you are not only solving the nutrition issue which the current, the country and the world is facing, and also climate change issue, but you will be able to contribute to these women who are in the villages. And I see that they are the only next hope left in the world to solve the climate change issues, to solve the nutrition issues, to solve any issue that we are facing today. But all that they want, I'm not talking about the startups, they are the startups we need to empower in the village. So what do they need in millet farming? How it used to happen is, like, if you see the seeding to feeding image, right? They are called seed captains. They used to keep like 30-40 varieties of the seeds. And then if you see the production level, they are the one who actively play in the farming. And then processing, most of the women are employed in the processing sector. And if you see the marketing, are the small entrepreneurs selling the millet root, like Kumari auntie story that all of you, how famous she has become. So even in the kind of, making the live food, because hyper processing is also not good for country. Like the plastic, we are one way, we are talking about millets or like sustainable foods. And we have no other option of, serving like the live millet, which is more healthy. So you need more and more Kumari aunties in every streets making these rotis and making these porridges. And then even the food control, if you see, like they are the one who actually do the food control. So these are a very small and marginal farmers and agri labor who are playing an active role in millet across the value chain. So the startups, the middle part is solved. Because of thanks to the International Year of Millets, a lot of startups like us who left very good jobs and then who are very enthusiastic, we came. So the middle part is solved. What has to be solved is the production level, because there is a huge problem of at the production level, access to machinery, access to capital, access to knowledge, and then the third level, which is consumer awareness level. So if we can solve these two problems, the women, we are talking about the empowering them, I think it will be solved, and we will be able to solve lots of issues that we are facing today, providing livelihoods and all. So what we are doing, we are building a value chain, and we have introduced 40 plus millet products and also 200 plus craft products, because we call ourselves as a culture revival. I'm not talking about product. We have to revive the culture. Today we say that millet, it is good for you. Tomorrow we say you eat this so and so XYZ, it is good for you. But if the culture is retained, and then we can go long term. So we are reviving this culture and we are educating people. Now I've taken a very big mission of educating 1 million corporate workforce, because you told in the morning the kind of NCDs and the burden of NCDs and the corporate and Indian health sector. So how do we solve it? They're running away from millets. They see millets, they see it's a sick food. No, it's not fancy. So how do you make it very cool and sexy for them, right? So we are coming up with this decode millet, code and decode for the IT people. And our target is 150 companies in 8 cities. And silently, I have done 7 companies and 16,000 employees. And we made 2 companies already out of millets. So I need your help. I was asking Kavita Garu, what is the action after I get down from the stage? I need at least 10 people to talk 10 people and introduce my campaign. Then only I'll sit here, right? So the action is more important. So that is where I need your help also, sir. Thank you.
Amisha, thank you. See, what I noticed is, last time when I visited, there's an organization called Millet Research Center, Government of India in Hyderabad. Dayakar, I see. Yeah, IMR, yes. So there I met one entrepreneur by name Lakshmi, and I was watching. We were there up to 7 o'clock in the evening, and she was alone doing everything, testing, and getting all those things into production and all that. And she met me. Sir, these are all the products already we were having, and I don't know how to market this thing. So how do we provide the marketing help for such a small entrepreneur? Because they are all very passionate. They are doing, and quality also. I've seen that also is telling very good quality and all that. But marketing where we are failing them. How do we provide the marketing help to all such entrepreneurs?
So the answer is this only, sir. If 150 institutions, like for example S&P Global, I don't want to kind of bring this, they've adopted immediately. She herself came to one of the event and she said, "Oh, millet cookies, it's very good. I want to introduce in my company." And she has taken for the entire India. They started sourcing. If 150 companies, everybody is having 20,000 employees, 30,000 employees, huge, numbers. And then if they can actually give startups like us a platform, it will be very easy. But do we have that access? I call a startup in millet space, if they are 5 crore rupees, if they have actually done business, they are unicorn. It is not easy. It is very tough to make to that 5 crore money. And I am a unicorn within 3 years. So it is because of my talent and my creativity, I am able to create this kind of platforms. But not everybody is equipped to create this kind of platforms, right?
Maybe offline we will discuss. I have some formula. We will discuss.
So this campaign, if it is successful, I make sure 200 startups will survive. And they become unicorn.
I have all the IT links. Now I will work with you, see how we can. Dr. Mahesh, I know you've been working on products, though you are biotechnology PhD from US, but you're doing something in agriculture. What are the innovations you're providing through your startups?
See, I started my entrepreneurship journey with an agri-tech company, and I started with a trading as my business initially. And I had to tell this. JA once came to my home and then he just said, "You guys being me, myself, and my wife, we were both the partners in our company, both PhDs in biomedical engineering and biotechnology." He said, "Being of this stage, you should think something very big." And then I started thinking we had to do an impactful agri-tech technology business. Then, of course, as we all say that prompt engineering is something that we have to do, and we know a lot of IT technologies are there in India, but not most of them. IT is being used in most of the sectors, but agriculture is being least utilized sector. Then we thought, why not we use IT in more agri sector? So what we thought is to inculcate these digital technologies to agriculture. We thought of getting a soil testing to the farmers within 5 minutes. Normally it takes 3 days, 4 days for them to get the soil testing. So that is like the first step what we try to do. Have the digital platform, within 5 minutes you get 95% accurate soil testing. And then it doesn't stop there. They got used to this platform and now they are using these platforms as their digital ledgers on day-to-day their farm activities. And this doesn't stop here. And then we started the traceability of the food product or the whatever products we're doing. Traceability is these days very, very important because at each and every step, what is going on, whether adulteration is going on, more pesticides are used, we need to trace it. For example, if you take a motherboard, any silicon this thing, you have the traceability, 100% traceability of each and every component. But do we have a traceability of the product what we are eating these days? No. And we have to develop that. And we are doing this at scale for the whole India that we are planning. Of course, we started very recently this kind of work. And we want to take this very deep across all farmers, viewers, agri corporates in India.
How do you see the prospects for agri-tech sector for the startups?
See, these days, agri-tech and health tech are the two most important aspects because health and food are the basic needs for our life.
Which cannot be automated.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Now I request Dr. Usha Garu, the General Manager at NABARD. They actually fund a lot of agri-tech startups. I visited one of their Ag Hub. A lot of startups were promoted through Ag Hub. It's totally funded by NABARD. Madam, tell me, what are the innovative things that you are looking at? Because India is primarily rural India is all agriculture based. But still, we are rudimentary agricultural practices, and still you see committing suicides by farmers. All those things are still continuing. Still, we are not able to really provide a sustainable solution like the theme of this conference. Is there any way that NABARD can really work with the industry and work with the startup companies, create sustainable startups using your help, using the market opportunities that will actually create more jobs? And also, we are solving most of the rural agricultural problems. If you are able to identify the right companies, and if you are funding them, if you are providing the market access to them, that will be sustainable. I don't think government, state governments and central governments failed. They only doled out money, taxpayers' money for, I don't know to what extent they were utilized properly, but we need sustainable solutions in the rural area, particularly in the agri-tech sector. How NABARD is going to happen?
So NABARD, I don't know how many of you know about NABARD. NABARD is an apex organization. So our main functions are credit dispensation, development work, and supervision of our client banks. So the startup financing or startup support is part of our development work. So we, particularly for the startup, we so far we have supported 7 rural business incubation centers. NABARD, as the name suggests, we work for the people in agriculture and rural sectors. So basically, all our rural business incubation centers are related to agriculture and rural development. So across the country, we have 7 rural business incubation centers, through which, and before that, I would like to mention here very clearly that we don't directly deal with the startup or the entrepreneurs. So we work through various agencies. For example, if it is credit dispensation, it is through banks. If it is for infrastructure creation, it is through the state government. If it is for startups, it is through the research institutions and organizations like universities like that. So for startup incubation centers, what I said, rural incubation center, so we support creation and maintenance of this rural business incubation center, which are normally promoted or it's just being run by the universities or the agencies, voluntary agencies or whatever, whoever is having the capability to set up such institution and run it. So in Telangana, we have 2 incubation centers, one in Akab University, Professor Jayasankar University, and one in NAM. That is idea and NAM together. We have supported this rural incubation center. Here, so far, 180 startups have been supported by these rural incubation centers. There they incubate the startups, and this after incubation, they will support them in setting up the startups. So we also support, like there is a concept in startup called the Valley of Death. So we support such startups. For example, they have good idea, they have technology, but they are not able to come up or they are not able to break even. So such, but there is good prospect for supporting such startups. So we have a support called catalytic capital support that is also given through the incubation centers. So such prospective, those having a good potential for growth. So we support through this RBICS, this catalytic support, and we also have a subsidiary exclusively for financing or funding startups. So there, whatever I have so far said is purely grant support. There is no loan. But incubation centers, which I have been telling, it is grant support only, and all these startups should be in. Of course, we have many startups in all technology areas, but we concentrate mostly on the agriculture and rural sectors. So, and all these incubators, we also. I was talking about the venture capital fund, which is provided by our subsidiary. So that fund can be either through equity support or loan. Venture capital, equity support or loan. So that way also we are providing support to these startups. That is directly from our head office. It's a separate subsidiary of NABARD. Then we have all this after the incubation of these startups. So once they start their work in the agriculture field,
So mostly we link with them with the farmer producer companies. So which she was mentioning about the millet. So in millet also we have done lot of support. We have given support to the farmer producer companies, and NABARD also support farmer producer companies. Farmer producer companies are a group of farmers. They come together to work as a company. It is as good as any other company. Like for example, maybe it is comparable to Reliance company or whatever. So that company set up only they work. They come together. They work together, aggregate, value add, and process market. So we have supported in Telangana. So far, we have supported more than 370 farmer producer companies, and we link or network these FPOs who are working in the startup ecosystem with the farmer producer companies, which Sir was also mentioning about farmer producer companies. All those technologies like IoT in agriculture or technological advancement or digitization of agriculture, all these things, whichever startup is ready to do. So that we
Madam,
connected through.
Sorry to interrupt. Actually, recently when I visited one rural university called SK University in Anantapur, there they have got Atal Incubation Center. Most of the companies, startup incubator, are all rural related, agri-tech and rural related. So there's so much of demand in India in the agriculture area, food processing area, and all that. So why not NABARD can go a little aggressively, particularly rural universities like SK University, where they already have Atal Incubation Center, but they don't have your ag hub kind of thing there. Maybe I think I see more rural entrepreneurs coming from such centers than from Hyderabad. I think you may have to think how you can expand your footprint into the rural India and set up more incubators there and see that all the benefits are passed on.
Yes, yes. Anybody, any university or research institute who have the capability to set up a rural innovation center can definitely they can approach NABARD. But only thing is they should have the wherewithal to set up the unit and run it effectively. So there should be research, and they have to incubate startups and they have to set up the startups. So so that in short about startup ecosystem and more, over and above this, we also provide support for any innovations in agriculture and rural areas, not only through startup also, if a startup is having any idea for innovation in increasing the production, productivity, or in marketing, new technologies, whatever it is, if you have any idea that we have separate projects that we can support through grant support, good ideas, innovations. That also
is there any possibility that ISF can work with NABARD to run challenge competition? So that we'll give some use cases and we'll have a challenge all over the country, and whoever comes up we'll give a good prize money for so that we'll get the innovative ideas.
Yes, NABARD is open to any innovative idea in
so
agriculture rural sector.
You start working on that.
So we can work together, we can discuss together, and we can come out with a.
So Mahesh,
the only thing is the idea should be good, implementable, and scalable.
Idea will be curated. I mean, all over the country will run.
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely, we are happy.
Oh, good. Yeah. So since already we have a success story from NABARD, but we have to scale it up. Thanks, madam. We will offline. We'll have more discussions. So, Dr. Nandur Srinivas, so you are from Napier. So, how you are helping from your organization? Are you helping the startup ecosystem?
Napier is a national institute for pharmaceutical education and research set up by the government of India. And the Hyderabad center started working in 2007 in the erstwhile IDPL R&D center. So since the beginning, so the Napier has been working on 4 major areas of the pharmaceutical importance. One is actually the manufacturing one, so it's something like API research. The second one is the formulation research. The third one is medical devices, and the fourth one is the drug discovery. So these are the 4 main areas where we have been focusing. And right from the beginning, the concept of Napier has been to work with the industries. So that is why 50% of the faculty are drawn from the industry. So all the people who are 50% of the faculty are from having the industry experience, so that they will be able to give the courses in a way which is actually meant for them. And then, having said that, so we have been offering the master's courses and as well as the PhD courses. But always we have been driving to see if there are any startups who need our help.
Do you have your own incubator?
Yes, yes, yes.
How many startups are
So
there?
we started the BIRAC supported incubation center. So the 2000.
How many
we
startups?
Now we have around 47 startups.
47 startups.
47 startups.
Very good.
And actually, like 15 or 20 of them are already have been graduated this year. And then we are currently having close to 20 plus incubators. And then actually we are planning to scale up in the next couple of years also.
You provide grants to them plus also market access, and also you provide the lab access.
The main access we have been giving is the lab access. We have been giving, and also all the facilities in the Embark that thrown open to the incubators. They can work around with our students, and then they come to, and all the faculty are as a witness. And we are also helping them with grants. So we ourselves have generated. We have not started any grant of our own, but we have been helping them to get grants from the various.
Srinivas Garu, actually, most of the problems for startups is the market access. Once they have product and money, how they get the revenue, how they get the new customer. Are you helping using your tentacles, providing the market?
Yeah, so they actually this one, we have one advantage of having a master's course in business management. It's a MBA in pharmaceutical management. So there we have actually a large number of industry partners also who are coming and teaching us. And actually all these startups are also.
Can I suggest one thing? Suppose we have 100 industry partners. You bring them to a conference and ask each one of them what are the opportunities for startups in their companies. All your incubating companies will have interaction. They will get to know. Because most of the startup founders, it's very difficult for them to reach out to the CEO of a big company. That's where you have to provide the network.
Yes.
If you can do that, ISF can work with you,
Sure.
and that's our forte. Forte is network is the network.
Sure.
If you provide the network, then the rest will happen.
Yes.
So we'll work with you.
Yes.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Doctor. So now I request Shravan Kumar, your CEO for robotics startup. So can you tell about how you your journey as a startup founder and how you see opportunities for the startups in the robotics areas?
We are basically working on developing an AI-based assistant surgical robotic system that helps laparoscopic surgeons, especially maneuvering the camera without relying on a human assistant. The robot can autonomously navigate itself based on the movements of the surgeon, and it eliminates the complexity in the surgical room. Basically, it started 5 years back. The research started 5 years back. Myself and my co-founder Pawan used to work in China for a surgical robotics startup there, and we have executed a project which operated on a patient 40 kilometers away, a kind of remote surgical platform. We have seen a lot of companies, medical devices companies working out of India, but the product doesn't belong to India. So 70% of the imports in India with regard to the medical devices is an imported device, even as of today. So myself and Pawan, we thought that then the boom of Make in India is just taking a ramp at that point. So we have thought that why don't we start and do these concepts based out of India and give something to the country. So then we started our own startup. But initially we started with the same idea, but we juggled along with different concepts. So then we got the right mentorship from the first, I need to say, IIT Hyderabad Incubation Center.
You got incubated IIT
Hyderabad. We graduated. We have been pre-incubated and got Nidhi from there, and then we got the right mentorship. From there, our journey started. So we officially got registered in October 2022, and then we have been connected to one of the US incubation program called Nexus, Startup Nexus. So, and we are now currently a proud alumni from US Consulate, and then we are currently looking to ramp our current product. We also wanted to bring latest technologies in the biomedical devices, so kind of robotics. I wanted to be pioneer in that kind of technology in India, based out of India, and make India a self-reliant as per the vision of our leaders.
Excellent, Shravan. In fact, there's a lot of opportunities in healthcare. Whatever you mentioned, all the components are imported, and we don't have any made in India product. I think I am very happy to see that you have ventured into it. But only my request is you should be the champion and help other startups who are into that area. Why don't I propose you to be ISF head for healthcare?
I am very I'll be privileged to be that.
Now we have a very interesting personality. She's into social initiative. She also comes from media house. Her daughter was a heroine, right? She's a heroine. Still, she's acting in many Telugu films and all that. So how you can think of promoting startup entrepreneurship in the media or whatever the chosen field or social sector? Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm answering a very legendary personality. First of all, I'm a little nervous and I seem to be the odd person out because I'm the only one who is a non-technical and non-corporate person here, running an educational institution, a school, and connected with a lot of social initiatives. First thing, but I am very much a part of ABWCI because I'm a woman entrepreneur, along with the Millet Queen. So instead of continuing with my government job, before that I started my profession as a lecturer in English. Then I got into Kendriya Vidyalaya. After working for 4 years, I somehow felt restless and I started my own school. That was 30 years ago. So that way I became an entrepreneur. And then I got into a lot of social initiatives also. I was the general secretary for Private Schools Association, where I involved in a lot of problem solutions and I represented various memoranda to the government and all that, and we worked a lot. And I am a part of FICCI Flow Hyderabad, headed a lot of initiatives and worked in the core committee also. I'm a part of Lions Club International. Now I'm in the district governor's core committee. So I do a lot of social work, and I started Rihanna Social Initiatives Foundation 3 years ago. So I was the president for Lions Club of Hyderabad Petals, an all-women club. So I agreed to become the president in 2019, and the tenure actually started in 2020. You all know what 2020 was. So that was the most challenging times of COVID, and many of them thought I would withdraw. But I did not do that. I went ahead and I think surprisingly I did a lot of work. So thank you, sir. And they asked me to continue, and I had another tenure post-COVID. We got some donations of sewing machines from my ladies. They said it was one of the social service activities, and we were supposed to donate it to some ladies in the bastis and all. I felt, by giving away these sewing machines, we are not doing justice to actually the service that we are thinking of. I said, why don't we handhold them? Why don't we train them? Why don't we, empower them? So the committee said, fine, go ahead. So I engaged a trainer. For 1 year, we trained. 25 women signed up with Gaurangi, which is the unit, the name of the unit. And now, after 1 year of training, they started manufacturing. When we started manufacturing, sir, I needed money in the bank. I invested in heavy duty machines, and because they were skilled. Now, these women were people who came from, I don't say marginal backgrounds. They are people, women who are probably married early or who could not receive good education. They were not ready to do manual jobs, nor were they fit for white collar jobs. But they wanted to have respectable jobs. So they were very skilled, creative, and ready to do something in the flexible timings. I have seen a lot of such women, and they were very fast learners. They learned, and then this project Gauringi started. Now, I needed something to support it. Rihanna Social Initiatives Foundation is an NGO which I registered in the Section 8 Companies Act, and it has a CSR certification. And now 3 years are completed, and we can even seek foreign funds also. So, my NGO is supporting this Gauringi, and we are actually ready for bulk orders. And sustainability is one thing we believe in. First thing is fabric itself is sustainable, and we are promoting only handlooms, cottons, and silks, which are natural fabrics. That way, we would like to help the weavers. So most of our products are made from handloom cloth. So we are making everything, right from bags to dinner mats, table runners, tea mats, all such creative things through fabric, besides the usual kids' clothing and everything. 5 women are employed by me. 5 women are signed up who do freelancing. There are 2 masters also. We needed them for perfection in fineness in stitching. And still more women are waiting to be employed. So for that, there is need for funds. Now I call that as a startup. So this startup requires a lot of
Social impact startup.
Yes.
So what we can do, we have got upcoming big event in September. We will give you a free stall in our exhibition,
Yes.
so that all your company can exhibit the products, whatever the products.
So
All the decision makers will be coming. Most of the GCC company heads, they have a lot of money, CSR money, since you are eligible to get receive the CSR money. So those people will be attending. Apart from that, along with Vishal, you and Dr. Dina,
I'm Sangeeta Verma.
You work together, and we will approach one by one some of the GCC heads, how they can support through their companies these products, your food products, as well as whatever this thing. So one by one we'll try to this thing. Once it takes a shape, then I think everybody will start promoting. We'll start doing. In all our ISF, Mahesh, I'm telling you, we will distribute only the mementos coming from that NGO. The bags, we should use these bags, and that's why we are promoting their products. So you get in touch with him.
Thank you so much.
Not only here, wherever we go, we are going international. We're going to US, Jamaica, and all that. We'll distribute the mementos using only the bags coming from.
Thank you so much. And I have
We are
answer
confirming
for
your order, Dr. Sangeeta.
your concerns, Sri Lakshmi. As a school educator, I would like to say that because of the bad trends in education, that is a lot of focus on science, engineering, you're losing that generation which received education like us. Like, we were free to do what we want to do. So now it is all parental pressure, which makes them choose only engineering, and
Yeah,
that is where
that's a very important topic which I wanted to, since you are in the various schools and all that. Today, the biggest problem is, I don't want to mention some of the names. When I visited one of the IITs, and I asked them how our Telugu people are faring in IIT. No, they're all sitting in the back benches. I asked them why. They are not able to understand the current pedagogy. Who are sitting in the front benches? Bihar students from Bihar, West Bengal, Orissa, but Telugu people are all sitting because they've gone through that monkified way of.
yes,
this
trend
thing.
started from 2000 onwards.
So,
but I didn't succeed.
so this is a very, very important. In fact, there is a proverb in Telugu, Mokkai Vongandi, Manai Vongandi. The school level, but me and Dina, we are working on this thing. Today is all about entrepreneurship. Suppose you give a gamified company to 3-4 students in the school. It's a company. One is the CEO, one is the CTO, one is a this thing. They will understand what is marketing. They will understand what is the financial basics and all that this thing, so that their energies are not diverted to the wrong websites and all that this thing. Today, every student has got all the gadgets, and they are very sharp. If we don't give the right kind of path, they will go to the other path. That is going to be disaster for the country. So I'll request Dina, please work with her how we can synthetic companies, how students can take those roles, and thereby we're promoting entrepreneurship early on. They will learn everything. YouTube, everything is there. Teachers are not required.
You said you are working with the women in handloom area. So if you can bring in more women in this handloom, and if you can bring them into a producer company, you know the producer company, no? Section 8 company. So if you can bring them into the form of a company, NABARD will be able to support you for that. Thank you. I'll work on that. Definitely.
Besides this, we also support senior citizens with medicines, and we also support education of girls, especially Ritu supports education of a few girls. So my NGO is doing a lot of other things.
Okay. So I would like to thank all my fellow panelists for wonderful insights.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
ABWCI is an excellent platform. We need these platforms for the women's voices to be heard adequately. There are enormous opportunities for entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs, now, both in health, in food, and in high technology. Telangana State Innovation Cell and VHub will together all support women entrepreneurs to succeed in the state. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
So we're celebrating the World Creativity and Innovation Day today, which is the 21st. And this day is special. This is a day that was constituted by the UN to celebrate innovation and creative in daily life, not just for individuals, but society at large. And we have several knowledge partners who are supporting us in this today. There's ISF, which is the India Startup Foundation. We're now standing in the campus of NIMSMI, which is the National Institute of MSME. And we've got several other stakeholders from the larger sort of ecosystem that are helping us put this together. We have media partners, MyStartupTV. We've got some other partners who are supporting us with gifts. And